If I had to be pulling stuff out of my butts with anyone, it would be with you.
It would be like, well then.
Take it by the scene, it's what we're doing. Come and check it out, it's what we're all about. 561 Music!
Welcome to 561 Music. My name's Ben.
And I'm Hector.
I don't know why, but it feels like ages since we did this. Oh, I know why.
Because I wasn't here last week. Oh, nobody was here last week.
Yeah, but there was a no show.
Yeah, I wasn't here last week, and then there was a no-show, and then I was glad I wasn't here last week.
Yeah, totally. But I ended up doing a clip show, which if you haven't seen, you should check it out because I had a lot of fun recording that. Putting that together. It was. I got to watch all of the episodes since the beginning of the year and just kind of pick through and find funny parts and stuff.
Nice.
It was good.
Nice. Yeah. It was fun.
We've had a lot happen over this year. It's been a really busy year. And I didn't even include anything about the festival, seeing as we just did the festival episode.
Yep.
And there's still just tons of interesting stuff. So yeah, you should go back. Anyone who's watching this, you should go back and check some of that stuff out. Also, if this is your first, we always say this at the end, but if you're a new person, maybe you won't stay all the way through to the end. Subscribe to the channel. It's really, really helpful for us, and it helps YouTube know that we're worth having around. That we're nice guys.
Yeah.
So please do. We'd appreciate that. So did we do anything this weekend of import?
We played a bunch of shows. We played Patty Mac's, and we played the Green Market.
That's right.
And then I played. I sat in on bass with Jake Tacos.
I've been wanting to know how that went. How did that go?
So it was all right. It went fine. We originally we were expecting, or I was expecting anyways, that we were going to play from 3 to 5, and someone else was going to be playing. Someone from New York was going to be playing from 2 to 3. I was trying to get there before 2 because I wanted to drop my amp off onto the stage and set it up real quick before that guy got started, so that when it was time for us to play, we didn't have to mess around with my amp. Luckily, I did get there before 2 o'clock because when I got there and I set up, I got back off the stage, moved my truck, came back in, and Jake says, so there was a bit of miscommunication, and apparently the guy was going to play for an hour before us, played for an hour before us, and we were actually playing 2 to 5. So suddenly we had an extra hour that we had to fill.
Oh, so he played from 1 to 2?
Yeah, and I only had, barely 2 hours worth of music prepared with Jake.
How'd it go?
So we just started pulling stuff out of our butts, man. We started.
Man.
There's your show opener. No, we just started playing songs that were like, easier to play, and songs that we've all played 100,000 times. It's whatever, like.
Did you do Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone?
No, but we did Bad Moon Rising, and we did Johnny Cash, and we did stuff like,
Did you do The Wheel of the Wagon?
No, we did not.
I'm proud of you.
Actually, did we? No, we didn't do that. We did not. No, we did not.
I can't imagine Jake singing.
But I do have a funny story for you. I don't know if I mentioned it to you. So we were playing, and it was Memorial Day weekend, it was Guanabana, so it was packed with people on vacation, whatever. Everybody was there in their bathing suits and bikinis, whatever. There was these 2 women there that were just so drunk.
Oh, wow.
So drunk. And they kept trying to get the band's attention. I think they were trying to get Jake's attention, to be honest with you. They were trying to get our attention. And the one lady, from a little bit of a distance, just the other side of that little walking bridge thing that's there in front of the stage, the 2 of them were sitting over there, and the one lady just starts, looking at the stage and making all these faces. Suddenly her top just comes down and then back up, like a couple times. She flashed us, and I looked over at Ricky, like, did that just happen? He's like, yes, that happened. And then she came up at one point towards the very end, and she was going to put a tip in the tip jar. Again, very weirdly, she had a towel around her waist. She dropped the towel, and she sat down on the stage and was like there in her bikini, like right in front of Jacob. And then she got back up. She took whatever it was, $1, $5, whatever it was, and she origamied it into a heart shape.
Good
and
Lord.
Handed it to Jake. Jake just kind of opened it up really quick and threw it into the bucket. None of us were making eye contact with her.
Yeah.
And then And then we broke everything down. The show was over. We broke everything down. We made it through. Everything was fine. All my cases were in my truck. And because there was so many of us and I was swooping in at the last minute, I ended up having to move my truck before we started playing. And I moved my truck like all the way over, like close to where Christy works, like far away. And so I started walking down there to get my truck because that's where all my cases and everything were. And as I'm walking down the street, I hear, hey.
Pursued.
I turn around and it's the two women. Aren't you the bass player? Man, without even skipping a beat, I was like, nope. No, I just saw you. You were on the stage. Nope, wasn't me. No, you were there. You were there at Guanabana's. I'm like, I don't even know what a Guanabana is.
That's a Dominic Delaney move.
Yeah, I was like, nope.
You remember he always tells that story?
Oh, man, it was definitely not me.
That's really funny. I love it.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good. It was a good show, man. I mean, like, it's always nerve-wracking when you're trying to play someone else's originals and you had like, a week to prepare in the midst of everything else, but whatever. Yeah. I got through it.
About halfway through June, I'm playing with Stony Fools at it's a gig in Abacoa, and same reason really, just to kind of,
just do something different, man. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I'm playing sax and stuff. It'll be rad. Anyhow, enough about us. We have Jeremy Sousa with us today. How's it going?
It's doing okay. It's doing super good.
Oh, there you go. Fantastic. So I don't know a huge amount about your musical history at all. Have you been at this a long time?
Yeah, I mean, I started making music, I don't know, like I was like 15. It's not too crazy. I'm 23 now. But I don't know, I started making like EDM rap music and then like piano music and then electronic hyperpop. Like it's been a whole thing. And I've always just had this thing I want to do with like, I don't know what to call it, but I've always had this thing. And I have a band together now and we have our first practice on this coming Sunday.
Nice.
But it's kind of just been all over. I just got out of a hardcore band that I was in.
So
I just kind of...
Yeah, that's cool. So across the board, I think we might have quite a lot in common by the sounds of things. So I'm curious, what kind of EDM were you making?
Like generic garage band loops, and you just touch all of them at once, and then it happens.
I was when I was a teenager, that was all. I did a lot of that. I used to make drum and bass like crazy, because drum and bass in 1999, 2000 was all that mattered in England. You would be forgiven for thinking that it was the national anthem at that point in time. But yeah, anyways. So how long have you been playing the guitar?
I mean, not too long. Like a few years. I started maybe like 6 years ago or something. I've been playing piano like, I don't know, since I was about 14 or something. So also nothing too crazy, but
have you had any formal training over the years?
No, man. I think it's good. I think a lot of people are like, you don't need that, or it's like you teach yourself. But I think there's a lot that I regret that I don't think I could ever unlearn when it comes to piano and guitar and just like so many things that just make my life so much easier if I had learned them properly.
I'm right there with you.
I think it's funny. It's funny, because I do think there is something in like the idea that that if you learn in a certain way, you will write in a certain way, and it can kind of pigeonhole you into something. But I also think though that sort of musical naivety is its own pigeonhole itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of difficult to break out of that, unfortunately. But no, that's cool. And I think either path is just as valid, because at the end of the day, it's art.
Yeah, my guitar player in my new band that I'm starting up, he's been, I don't know, playing guitar for like maybe a few months or something. And then I had the option between him, who's like one of my best friends, and then some shred master, the greatest guitar player in the whole world. And I picked my buddy, obviously, because it's like my friend, but also it's like we have the same brain. So if he knows the key of C, which is like 90% of my songs, that's like, you just play a solo in that. And then, it doesn't have to be anything crazy.
No, totally.
He knows what I need.
Yeah, that's cool. And Hector and I say all the time that, it's the most important thing is that you can hang, in a band.
Oh, for sure.
That's like That's like rule number one. And then everything else can be figured out, you know.
That is true. Yeah.
That's cool though. So what's the stylistic direction of this new band?
Just like a bunch of things going. I don't know. It's all just like mainly piano centric stuff and just regular guitar, drum, bass kind of thing. And then sometimes I'll pick up an acoustic guitar and do some like little quiet thing. You know, it's all. I have no real way to describe it. It's.
Do you have much material already written?
I have everything. Well, everything's been written for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years.
Really? Okay.
And it's just been like hurdle after hurdle of people, and then people asking me to join their band, and then I'm like, yeah, that's more experience, and then I do it, and then I get, you know, sucked into that and
sidetracked. Yeah.
Exactly. So now I'm ready to just like.
So there's been a master plan then this whole time.
Whole time, yeah.
That's really cool. Is there? Would you say that like your music? Would you say you write about one thing more often than another? Like, is there a theme running through your songs, or not?
I think the theme is I try to avoid sounding like cringe, and like I just try.
It's a good theme.
It is,
Avoid
and then
cringe.
I'll finish the song and read it and be like, I don't know what any of this means, and then I give it this new meaning, and then it's a meaningful song. Like it's kind of just something
sure.
I gotta. It comes to me from something, and then I just put it down, and then I read it later, and then it's different every time.
I feel that, and songs changing meaning like while you're writing them is, you know, that's happened to me quite a lot of times.
That's pretty normal though.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. It is, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, really. I think it's interesting, actually. You know, postmodern. You can take different meanings from it, just depending on which way you come at it. So when you're sort of compiling your sort of lyrical content and stuff, where are you writing all that down? You doing it in notes on your phone? Or?
I bought like a box of 50 notebooks about like this size, and I keep them in my back pocket, except for right now. But I just keep them in my back pocket at like all times, and I'll just write, and then figure it out later.
Yeah.
And then I make chord charts for like the people in my band, and so they know what they're playing, and I'm not trying to like fumble over trying to explain it.
Yeah.
And then while I'm doing that, I'll be reading it and be like, oh God, that doesn't work, and then kind of just changing it there.
Sure.
That's probably the real reason I haven't released anything in forever, or when I do, I take it down, because I've released like 3 albums total, and then I just took them all down because like the lyrics are something, or not ready to be out into the world yet. Yeah, just changing it over and over.
Well,
again.
I mean, you're young too. I feel like you don't have to have found your true direction and sound by 23. I certainly had it.
Yeah.
There's no way, you know. I think I started releasing music that I was proud of at around 23, actually, 23,
Okay.
24.
Yeah.
Everything prior to that was kind of... So I'm still figuring it out, you know?
Yeah.
I might release something this year that I'll be proud of.
There you go. At the ripe age of 23.
Finally. Yeah. Yes.
That's cool. Where do you live?
Down in Davie.
Gotcha.
So it's like about an hour away or something.
Sure. Do you have like do you have a lot of friends down there who are into music? Like, how's the scene that surrounds you?
I don't know. I mean, my roommate, he's a great musician. He sold all of his stuff, most of it to me. But he's like one of the best musicians I know, and he wants nothing to do with it. So
right.
That's like, and a couple, like my buddy Eli and my friend Darrett, and my girlfriend Kenny Moe.
Yeah.
And they're like my main like close-knit musician group. Do you guys know the band Beeline?
Yeah.
We went on tour with them recently. So they're like part of our crew now too. So
nice.
I'm kind of just snowballing.
The
humans.
Beeline guys are not only they're good musicians and a good band, but they're also great at
Nice
producing.
guys.
And,
Yes,
you know.
yeah, that's where I'm going to be recording all my stuff.
That's excellent. You'll be in good hands. I know, we actually know those guys pretty well. They've been on the podcast a couple of times, and they played the festival.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, and at least 3 of them are sound guys at Propaganda as well.
Yes,
So, yeah, I see those guys a lot. Good guys. That's cool though, and but if that's the sort of pool from which you're drawing in terms of like musicians and like if that's who you're rubbing shoulders with, you are in good hands.
Yeah.
Kenny Moe is fantastic too.
She's super good.
we did a show a few weeks ago, and which we recorded actually. So be on the lookout for some Kenny Moe live music at some stage once we figure out what we're going to do with it. So do you have like when you play solo, is the way that you play sort of a consistent thing, or does it just depend on the song?
It depends on the other people playing. Mackenzie, Kenny Moe, my girlfriend, she goes to all my shows, as do all my friends, and they're always like annoyed with me or upset with me in some way, because I don't know what's wrong. It's if I go to a show with my acoustic guitar and everyone there is doing acoustic guitar music and they sound beautiful voices, it is like something in me is just
Got to do it a different way.
I have to be the absolute worst thing in the entire world, and I just can't do it. And I'd like to. I'd love to. I have that in me. I have that like Elliott Smith the softness, whatever.
Sure.
I just can't pull it out if that's what I'm surrounded by. I used to do a lot of gigs opening for like hardcore bands with my acoustic, and that's when I'd go like really soft, because you don't want to show up with an acoustic guitar and try to like outmatch the hardcore. That's when you want to out soft them. But
well, I like the idea of whatever's happening around you, you do the opposite. That's cool.
It's cool. It's cool in theory, and then it happens, and I'm just like, oh man, like, but it's I'm sure it'll pay off in some way.
I mean, it's just an interesting approach to have. It certainly make you stand out.
Yeah, I guess so. Definitely.
No, our band Killbillies knows all about what it's like to play with hardcore bands and even like rap acts and stuff as folk music, and it's always. I feel like we're living in an age that is right on the cusp of like being post-genre,
Yeah.
I feel like it's just like most people I speak to, I think it's partially to do with the like democratization of recording music, and also just the access to music that everyone has now, and the fact that a lot of genres of music have been around for a really long time now. It's just like. It just feels like everyone likes everything these days.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, all the hardcore bands my old band would play with, they'd like if they heard like I had released like a solo song and they were like, "Oh my god, it made me cry," and
It made me cry.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. But yeah, I think you're totally right about like the post genre thing. I think. When I'm talking to like people at work or like friends who aren't like quite musicians or anything, it's always a pain when they're like, "So what kind of music do you make?" And I'm like, "Oh man, I wish I could just be like."
That's the worst question.
Just like something, pop music.
That's the worst question.
That would make life easier, but it is nice to because on one hand it's like. If you don't have a genre, you're more of a musician's musician.
Yeah.
But then, like, musicians also want to be musicians to non-musician. It's kind of finding that middle ground.
You know what I think can be a good way to answer that question is to figure out something that the songs have in common outside of that. You could say, like, if there's like a running theme through the lyrical content and things like that, try and figure that out and then just say that, whatever it is,
Yeah.
There's something that ties it together. Sometimes there isn't even that, though. I don't know if there's something that ties all my music together. Narcissism, maybe.
Post-narcissistic punk.
No, like, do you play out much? How about in terms of your kind of getting out and playing in front of people? How often would you say you do that?
I try to do open mics as often as I can, but like when I was in my previous band, we were playing just about every weekend, as much as like taking every single show. And now that I am working with my new band, I'm kind of just setting it up to, my old band Mutiny Act. We did like it was just kind of. You do like 2 out of towns, and then one weekend, and then the next weekend you do 3 out of town, and you just kind of do this lasso thing through Florida. Yeah. And I'm planning on doing that with my new band because with my job I work 3 days a week, and then I get like 5 days off in a row, so I have plenty of time to just gig and do mini tours. And
that's great.
Things like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's really awesome. And getting out of town and touring is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, we just did a 10-day tour through here to Nashville and
So
that.
what were you playing with Kenny Moe?
yeah, I play piano.
Oh, nice. Beautiful. Yeah, that sounds dope.
You just did a solo thing not too long ago, opening with DDRB. What?
Yes,
at,
yeah, I
Brew
did.
House. Yeah,
I did that. I went. I was having a hard time figuring out my stage name, so I went under the name of the album I'm going to be releasing, "I'll Be a Wall," and I don't know. It was a good show. I really liked it. It was again, it was just one of those things where like everyone's playing like good, like solid acoustic music, and I was like, how can I be the worst? I don't know.
I'm going through the same thing. We do the singer-songwriter thing on the first Sunday of every month at Brew House, and
you want to do one of those?
I
man?
love that. Kenny recently did one.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was jealous.
And I keep going there, and we keep setting it up and keep going, and then every time we go, like everybody's so amazing, and I want to do one. I'm dying to do one.
Yeah.
But I watch all these people get up there and they have these soulful songs and all these meaningful things. And all this, some of these guys really shred on the acoustic, and I'm like, do I really want to do that?
Now you got to get in there and just fuck it up. You got to say this song's about nothing, and then
Yeah, exactly.
I actually have a song about nothing.
I think it's the Seinfeld of songs.
Yes.
I feel like, did I just call it Seinfeld?
Seinfeld.
Oh, it's not called that.
Felt.
Anyway,
with a T. Felt.
Yeah, I think it's about, all of these things are just about confidence. There's
For
been
sure.
plenty of people who've done it, who, that the thing that was good about them wasn't their guitar playing,
Of course.
It was just the energy.
yeah.
A good example of that was like the way like William drew us all in, because he was doing some pretty simple guitar work, but he was still debatably the best one on that gig.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had to like start realizing that like I'm not the best pianist, I'm not the best singer, I'm not the best guitar player, but I could try to be the best songwriter, and then you don't have to be the best at anything if you're the best songwriter. Then
Exactly.
that's about it.
Totally.
I try to go for that.
I wish I'd had more time on the last one of those I did, because at some point I want to do a solo gig where I do all of my like rap tunes and just figure out a way of making that work with an acoustic guitar. That's
why not?
it's definitely something I'm going to warm up to. Whenever I'm allowed to do that gig again, which is probably going to be in about a year, I'm going to do that. I guess it means I've got a lot of time to catch up. Have you ever done anything like that? Have you ever done any like acoustic and like sort of rap lyrics type stuff?
Yeah, actually, my first ever show was like an acoustic song with like a rap section in it, because I started off like doing like that kind of like SoundCloud rap music and things like that, and it was like it's a hilarious, well, it's not funny, but it's a funny thing to put to a rap song, because that was all I knew. It was 2 weeks after my mom had passed away. I was about 17, and I played at I don't know, some place in some coffee shop, and it was just like, looking back now, it's like the most random it was a beautiful song, and then in the middle I just threw in this like rap part.
Yeah.
And it was just looking back, I was like,
I think that's allowed. I've got a few like
yeah,
that. I've got a few like that.
People were crying, and I was like rapping. It was
Hell, it depends on the rapping, that could work.
it was interesting.
I mean, be honest. I mean, if I was rapping, everyone would be crying. but mostly just because I'm terrible at rapping.
My name is Hector, and I'm here to sing.
right, exactly.
I don't know. I bet you'd be pretty good at it. Hector's a dark horse. Usually when he puts his mind towards something, he's pretty good at it.
Good.
So what I think we should do now, talking of live performances, is take a minute and you're going to play us a song. Does that sound good?
100%.
All right.
Sounds great.
Let's do it.
Had me in sight, waiting to say. The instinct to try won't make things change. You're seething inside, but it won't fight him off. I couldn't stop the pain. I know it's hard to see me in the arms of hope. So say it gets better till I'm severed from the days spent on the floor, selling lightning to the war. Burning out ain't the way to go. You wanna explode and destroy all you know. You're seething inside, but it won't cut him off. I couldn't stop the shame. I know it's hard to see me in the arms of hope. So say it gets better till I'm severed from the days spent on the floor, selling lightning to the war. So here is my encore. I want truth he didn't know before. The cold steel toll enforced. Now stay down. Look at me now. You're lost and then vow you'll only know your rage. Feel the way you made me feel before.
Oasis Root Carver Bar is in Seagrape Square on Indian Town Road, and it is a carver bar. If you don't know anything about carver, it's a Polynesian root that you grind up and you mix with water, and it has been in Polynesia for potentially thousands of years. It's an old thing that they used for kind of ceremonial and also sort of leisure purposes. It's meant to be something where, you know, that brings people together. You will take a shell of carver and chink them together and say bula and have it together like that. It's meant to be something to bring people together. It has a kind of an effect, which is, I guess, a kind of a slightly warming effect. It just kind of makes you feel nice. It's not particularly intoxicating. It's not like drinking alcohol. So the atmosphere in a carver bar is sort of like a cross between a regular bar and a coffee house. It's pretty chill in there. You get all sorts of different types of carver bars. Some of them are more like a club, you know, there's sort of like blacklight and EDM playing, and some of them are more like a cafe. This is one of the cafe type of ones. It's super chill in there. If you're looking for somewhere to, I don't know, maybe go and do some work on your laptop or go and have a chat with friends, it's perfect for that kind of thing. There's a foosball table in there if that's your jam, or baby-foot as they call it in France. Yeah, Jim, the owner, is a really cool guy, and he has very kindly sponsored our podcast, so thank you very much for that, Jim. They also do a poker night in there, all sorts of things going on at Oasis Root. Welcome to 561 Music.
we have some very exciting news. You may have noticed that the podcast is being hosted from a different place. That place is the 561 Music School and Studio. Justin Hucker has changed the name of his school from Live Music Community to 561 Music School and Studio. We have joined forces and now everything has the same name. The podcast, the festival and the school are now all under the umbrella of 561 Music. If you've been listening to the podcast for a long time, you will know that every week in this spot, we used to do an ad for Live Music Community. Now, Live Music Community has become 561 Music. We are still on North Lake Boulevard, but we have moved to 524 North Lake Boulevard, Suite A, North Palm Beach, Florida. It is east from the old location, and boy oh boy is it an upgrade. We now have a studio that is far bigger and more advanced. Bigger lesson rooms and 3 big spaces for recording bands and practicing. We now offer more opportunities for recording your band and provide more practice space to hone your skills. The heart of 561 Music School and Studio is still tuition. We train both young people and adults one-on-one and also in groups to be real bands, teaching you how to play your instrument not only by yourself but with others as well. We help you learn to write and record a song, how to brand and market your band, how to design and produce merchandise, how to get shows, how to act at shows, how to perform, how to organize tours, how to reach out to labels, the ins and outs of protecting your intellectual property, and much more. 561 Music is a one-stop shop for all your music and performance-related needs. We are also set up to help you record music videos, how to manage social media, how to create content for social media, and everything that is required of a person trying to break into the music industry in 2025. Come by the studio at 524 North Lake Boulevard in North Palm Beach and check out the new digs. We are online at 561musicstudio.com. Fill out the form online and come for your free first trial lesson. We are open daily by appointment or just walk up and say hi. We're here most days of the week from 3 p.m. for walk-in inquiries. Come by. It's just so awesome, this new spot, and we're all incredibly excited to be here.
All right, and we're back. We were just listening to an ad for 561 Music, which is where we're sitting right now. And it is a music school, primarily studio, but the school is the beating heart of this place. And it cues us up perfectly for the question, do you have any advice for upcoming musicians?
Yes, I do. You're gonna, I don't know, this is gonna sound so cheesy, but it's like you're gonna die. Like I work in an emergency room overnights and I see it all the time, and I didn't realize I was gonna die until like, I guess this year. And it's just like, I hear
it really
so
brings
much.
it home, man, in an emergency room.
Yeah, it gets, but yeah, it's just, I don't know, I hear so much from people being like, I get a lot of sour looks when I say crazy things like I want to be the biggest artist in the world and I want to have millions of dollars and all this. I get weird looks, but it's like, what? You're gonna die. Go for the gold. Go for the crown. Do what you must to get there. Don't be I don't want to be greedy. If I don't be greedy. You don't have to be greedy to be rich. You gotta do whatever you want. As long as you do whatever you want, that's the ultimate goal. I mean. That is life, is just doing whatever.
Well, I think having the bravery to follow your dreams, it's not a dress rehearsal, as my mother always says.
Yeah.
That's something she says to me a lot. And as I get older, it's kind of like soaks in more and more. I'm like, oh yeah, she's right. You don't get any of that time back.
Yeah, exactly.
One and done,
Oh, for sure, man. Like the amount of things that I have done specifically to enjoy my life in the last, I would say, 10 years is a far larger number of things than I did the previous 40 years of my life.
Have really been, you've been making moves.
Yeah, it's just, you get to that point, and you've gotten to it way earlier than I ever did, but you get to that point where you do realize it's not a dress rehearsal. This is it. This is your one chance. And if you're going to do something, do it. If you want to do it, just do it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a dress rehearsal, but for everyone apart from me, I get one more.
Well, there you go. There you go.
At least that's what they told me. So hopefully it's true. So what kind of music do you listen
Except
to?
you're coming back as a giraffe, so that's a problem.
Right now, when you're sitting at home, what are you putting on? What are some artists that you like?
I went through like different phases of my life, but
Sure.
I try to. Man, there's another thing that people don't like too well, but I try to only listen to like the Beatles, Elvis, Bob Dylan, the greats
The
of all
classics.
time, the Hall of Famers, the people that got there.
Sure.
And that's all I listen to really. I like other things too, but mainly even when it comes to like other genres, it's like jazz. I'm like Miles Davis. It's like not even that I'm like listening to like the generic things. It's just more like they're the best for a reason. Like the greatest hits albums that people like are like, you shouldn't listen to the deep, because like they're the greatest hits, like for a reason, man.
I quite like that. That's quite a refreshing point of view, actually. I don't think I've ever heard someone say that, and it's amusing and probably true.
Yeah, right.
But that's cool. When it comes to Bob Dylan, the song that you played was, as I said before, a little Dylan-esque. So could you tell us a little bit about the song? Like, what's it about, and why did you choose to play that one?
It is it's the title track for my upcoming album that comes out sometime someday. It's called "I'll Be a Wall," and it's
I'll Be a Wall.
It's basically just it's kind of when you're going through something and you kind of just have to just be a wall. I don't know. It was
The buck stops here. That's it.
Exactly. Like sometime in high school, I was with all my friends. We were at the fair, and then we all went to like the playground. That was all closed, and it was night, so we were all cool going to a playground.
Sure.
And
at nighttime.
Yeah, at nighttime. And one of my buddies that was with us, it was just he and I, and he like picked me up and threw me into this metal pole, like slamming my back into it.
Oh no.
And like jumped on me and started, trying to put his hand in my pants and like beating me, like pounding my face. It was horrible.
That's a lot of things. And the pants beating the face.
Yeah, dude, it was,
Jesus.
oh my God. And then all my friends came, and I was like, obviously I was a little freaked out, and I ran and I jumped in front of a bus, and the bus slammed on the brakes, and I was the wall. I don't, it was a weird kind of thing. It was just like, it was
somehow you stopped the bus, not the other way around.
Exactly. Yeah, it was an odd thing, as if like, I don't know, I felt like, I should be alive. That's a good thing to be, and it's one of my favorite things to be. And that was a horrible night, and that song's about that in every way possible.
Cool. It's a good song.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's beautiful. How long have you been playing the harmonica?
Oh, not too long. I kind of just added it as like
A little bit of flair.
Yeah, it's like in my head, it's a guitar solo.
Sure.
It's just like and it works that way too. It's I try to, in my head, I like to think of it more as like a guitar solo, like violin thing. But then when I hear it, it's like this like wretched sound. But it's a good add-on for any like blank space in a song.
Yeah,
It sounded good. Yeah, it sounded good as an add-on.
Yeah, it's something that I should use more. I went through a phase of doing the harmonica in my solo sets, and it's good. I love the way it sounds. Even just playing a chord, just fills it up,
exactly.
gives it something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hector plays the harmonica in Killbillies. He does
For one song.
For one song. We should have you do more songs. So Hector's also been playing the baritone sax of late, which is just super fun. And we were just mixing a song right before you got here that has a bunch of bari on it. Baritone sax is top 5 instruments for me ever.
It's one of those instruments that I forgot I even played. And then we were talking one day, and Ben says, "Didn't you play sax?" I said, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah, so here we are.
A
few months later with a baritone sax in our lives.
Yeah. It's worse things to have in your life, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So do you have any shows coming up?
I don't think so.
Maybe a singer-songwriter thing that we'll
Yeah.
put together.
If
Yeah, there you go.
I would love for that to
so
be.
you have a show coming up.
I have a
July-
show coming up.
because we're going to.
July 6th. We can put them
yeah,
on that
exactly.
one.
July 6th at the Showtown.
Yeah, there you go. So, Brewhouse Gallery, Lake Park, July 6th. Oh man, Jeremy Sousa, you can see him then.
Yeah.
He's only aware of this as of right now.
Yes. If I have anything on the schedule, I will clear that out of the way. No problem.
Perfect.
You're a legend. And if it turns out not to be true because I sprung it on you in a horrible way on camera, then that's totally fine. But if
People can see my social medias and I'll post of such updates and things.
And in terms of music coming out, there's a lot in the works, but no definites at the moment, right?
I guess the song that I did today, I think, is the easiest song to do and record, because again, I gotta wait for my bandmates to get everything going, get everything together. And the second we're ready, I think it's gonna take maybe 2 or 3 practices, nothing too crazy. It's gonna be You Can't Not Hear Me.
There you go.
So
excellent. Yeah, man, get stuck in. Is there anything we need to tell the world? Now the festival's over. We always used to end with festival stuff.
Yeah, no, we got a lot of things in the pipeline that we were talking about, things that you and I were talking about, things that me and Ricky were talking about, just ideas and things. So there's going to be some more things coming up before the next festival. A lot of things, hopefully. But in order to make that happen, we always need money. And money makes those kinds of things happen. So the best thing you can do for us right now is, as Ben mentioned at the top of the show, if you're a longtime listener, thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
We appreciate the support. We appreciate you guys watching. And if this is your first time, you've just joined us, we do this every week with a different artist, a different musician, and hit the like and hit the subscribe button. Those things throw us into those algorithms with YouTube, and it gets us to where we're very close right now. It'll get us to where we can monetize the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And by monetize, it costs you nothing. All you have to do is like, subscribe, and watch.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
All right. Well, listen, thanks so much for coming on, Jeremy.
Of course, man. Thank you
It's a
for
pleasure to
having
properly meet you. I feel like we've met before, but
it's sometime.
yeah, but it's nice to properly meet you and get to know you a little bit.
Of course,
And
man.
good luck with everything, and we'll see you soon. Hopefully, I'll see you in a month.
Yes, you will. July 6th.
Excellent. All right.
Sounds good, man.
Thank you.
See you later.
See ya.
Take a better scene. It's what we're doing. Come and check it out. It's what we're all